now. Although the game has decided to give us no engine sound, so unfortunately it's going to be very quiet qualifying. So hopefully I'll be able to um, make it exciting. It's going to be, of course, a bit less uh, amazing. I don't know how you'd word that, but yeah, we'll move on. It's the second round one of the PARL season. Of course, we did have a round one and two before, but due to driver changes and people leaving the league and people like new people joining, we've decided to restart it. So we are here for the second round one, basically. And we have a 9 car grid, so unfortunately not as many drivers as we could have got today. So yeah, hopefully we'll get some good racing out of them. I think we have wide load. No, we actually have Mago, I think it is, who's gonna be the first one to cross the line, as we have yellow flags in sector 3. So someone must have went off, but it's gonna be Mago who's going to come across the line first to set his lap, and it's a 20.9. I'd say that's not quite. Yeah, Legende instantly beating that with a 19.6. Much more representative time. I'd say Mago probably has some time to find in that Red Bull. And Lotus puts in a 20.5 in the Haas there. So it seems like Legende has a quite an advantage in this early stage of qualifying. White Load Billy puts in a 22.1 on the mediums, so he actually goes very, very deep. He doesn't quite get his braking right, so he should be on an in lap anyway, so it won't affect him too much, I don't think. James on the Oh no, wait. White Load Billy is on the hards. Not mediums. I don't know. I was thinking of last year. So yeah, James on the mediums, and then the top four all have set their laps on the soft tire, and then we also have Luke one in the middle of his lap. It looks like he's backed out of the slot. Maybe he got invalidated or something. Enrico Flam also on the hard tire. And then we haven't actually seen Lux exit the pit lane as of right now. So yeah, I'd say that's kind of the first round of laps from everyone. So I'm going to quickly link the comms into the chat. Just give me 2 seconds. Okay, and we are back. I'll just get the chat up. Yeah, it didn't really. No, you're pretty much spot on with that, Sweeney's. Unfortunately, he didn't get to race. There was a few people who couldn't make it, so to be fair, we could have had probably a 14 car grid. I think like 4 people couldn't make it, 4 or 5, so it could have been better. But I think it is still a good thing that we waited until after the summer. But we will move on though. doesn't. Yeah, it seems like Mago is the first one to come out for a second lap, I think. Unless, no, actually, SPC might. No, he's on an in lap. So yeah, it looks like Mago is the first one to set a second lap. Once again on these soft tires, so he's going to be trying to go for pole, coming through a scary. Seems pretty tidy. No oversteer. Very easy to lose it on the exit of that corner, coming into the parabolica. Braking around the 50-meter board, turning in fourth gear. Accelerating out now on his timer or not, but we will see. No, he does not go quicker, so he stays on the 20.9 at the moment. And it seems like no one can really match Legende at the moment. Legende just seems to be on another level for now. Of course, there were some people who could match him, who unfortunately couldn't make it. So yeah, hopefully round 2 we'll see some people who can maybe challenge Legende, so Legende doesn't run away with it early on. Let's just get some things up on the screen. A little bit of detail. Yeah, it should be good. Yeah, Mago getting out of the way for James, who's once again on the soft tire, or medium tire. He's on an outlap at the moment, so it seems like Mago is, yeah, he is on an in-lap. So yeah, James will be coming towards the final corner to start his second flying lap. White Billy has actually gone to the mediums, originally setting his lap on hards. So I guess we'll just go on board with James opening DRS, go broadcast coming into turn 1. It's an easy corner to get wrong. You kind of have to take quite a lot of the inside curb here. Seems like he hasn't taken as much curb as he could have, but it seems to have been clean though. Not losing too much time, probably a 1/10.5 maybe. But coming into the second chicane now, another corner that really you need to take lots of curb, and it seems like he's taking that quite well there actually. A little bit of correction at the exit though. Coming into the Lesmos, you have to extend the track as much as you can to make the most out of your exit, because it's mainly straights, and I think it's about 80% of the lap is taken at full throttle, so it's very oh geez, he cut the track quite a lot there, so he might have gotten invalidation. He seems to be continuing, so he might not have. He'd be lucky to not have got a penalty there. Coming around the final corner, accelerating to the line now. Nothing more he can do to help his lap, and it looks like he has not improved, so he's going to stay on a 21.1. Or actually he may have gotten validated there, so maybe he might be going again. You'll see as there's yellow flags in sector 2 for someone. There's still yellow flags. I haven't actually, I can't see who. And now there's yellow. Oh, it's Luke, who seems to have ran out of fuel, so maybe not fueling his car up. Hopefully he doesn't actually hinder anyone. It would be great if I actually had a track map, but that is not an option available to me. But actually, Luke is quite close to Legende. He's only about a 10th off, so he might be someone who can maybe take the fight to Legende. Seems like I'm not sure how. What's the gap? Am I able to see that? Yeah, only 6/100ths of a second separate them. So seems very close up at the top, and in the background there actually. We do have Legende. He is on a lap trying to improve. I'm not sure if he is up on his time or not, but coming up to the line we'll find out. He does continue. He's not going to pit, and it's a 19.4. He goes even faster on those soft tires in the Toro Rosso, so seems to be doing him quite a lot of favors. It's just straight lines turn one. I've seen quite a few people just go straight on, although they did take it a little slower. So yeah, he's just trying to get back to the pit lane as quickly as possible, I guess. Luke pits. Enrico Flamma actually also seems to have run out of fuel. Hopefully he gets out of the way for Lotus, who's in fourth at the moment. He is on the soft tire. Coming around the final corner, it's not been an amazing lap at the moment, so there definitely is room for improvement. Coming up to the line, he doesn't improve on. Oh no, he was on an out lap. Never mind. I didn't actually realize that until he crossed the line. So he'll be going for a lap now anyway. So we'll see if he's able to get closer to the top three and put himself what he would want to be on pole. But it seems to be quite a big ask. He's slightly up on his time at the moment by 200ths of a second. So he is improving, but it doesn't look like that great of an improvement. So maybe one of his sectors just wasn't great. So we will see how much he's up on his time in the second sector, and if he's up enough, then he probably just made a mistake. And no, he's barely up on his time. So he's sliding. He nearly lost the car there. He's lucky to still be on a lap at the moment. That was quite scary, I won't lie. Around the final corner though, extending the track as much as possible. Coming up to the line now, he will improve, and he goes about he goes 2.5 tenths quicker, and he is a little less than a tenth off Enrico Flam. So it seems like no one's as he slides out of turn 2. It seems like no one is able to challenge the top 2 of Luke and Legende at the moment. Look for someone on a lap. Lux is actually someone who is on a lap. He's came out at the end. He's actually retired. Oh, he did set a lap. He just set a lap there and then retired, and he's nearly got onto pole, but not quite. Hopefully his car doesn't hinder. I think that's SBC. Yeah, his car is out of the way, so he's not going to get hindered. And SBC is actually on the soft tire, so he's gonna be trying to challenge the top guys. But it was a good lap from Lux to only have set one lap and been like put himself on the second row of the grid. Although he didn't get laps in earlier, so I'd say he could have probably challenged for pole if he got the extra few laps in, but unfortunately he did not. Seems like a few people are coming out for their final runs now, or I'd expect them to be coming out now at least. With the lap being 1:20, and it probably takes about 20 seconds to actually get around the track, so might have to think about getting out now to give themselves a margin so they don't need to rush their outlap. James, if you see actually Mago here, coming around the final corner, he does improve, but it's not enough to actually improve his position, but it will give him a little bit of breathing space, a little extra breathing space to guys behind. SBC was actually trying to go for a lap, but it looks like he's aborted it now. So maybe he just got invalidated, and of course he's not going to have any more time left in the session to have another go, so he calls it a day. Legende, your current pole sitter, he's on his outlap at the moment. Luke 1 is on a lap. He's coming up to a scary. We'll see if he's up on a time or not in a moment. He's 4/10 up, so he's gonna smash his pole time, Legende's pole time, as long as he doesn't get invalidated. And it doesn't look like he is going to get invalidated, so this could be a crazy lap. As long as he doesn't lose too much time in the final corner. It seems to be a tidy final corner. Will this put him on pole? It does put him on pole by over a tenth. So that was a great lap from Luke. And now Legende is gonna, I'd assume he's gonna have something to say about that. He's gonna obviously have the slightly better track. I think he's gonna be the last one to cross the line as well, as we see James calling his qualifying a day there as well. Enrico Flam also trying to improve his position, but we'll go on board with Legende for now, who's actually only a little bit behind Enrico, so he might maybe get a little bit of a tow if Enrico makes a mistake. Even then, he's not too far back, so he might be slightly getting a little bit of a boost in the straight, and won't actually really be hindered in the corners because he's that far back. And Enrico has made a mistake actually, and it's put him off track. Legende is able to avoid it. No crash, it doesn't look like, but Enrico won't be improving his time. But around Parabolica now for Legende for the final time. He is going to be looking at pole. Will he be able to put it on pole? He does put it on pole by half a tenth, so Luke stole it from... now we have sound, that's great. Yeah, he gets it right at the end, the last car to cross the line, and he puts it on pole position. So, your qualifying results are as follows. It's Legende who takes pole over Luke 1 by only half a tenth. It's gonna probably be a very close race between them two, as long as neither of them come into any difficulty. On the second row of the grid in third, it's looks a little bit off the pace, although he only had one lap to actually go for pole. So he's in third in the Mercedes, followed by James Killer, Enrico Flam, Lotus, Mago, SBC, and Wide Load Billy, who's on the mediums actually. So be interest, and it's actually a wet race, so that could shake things up. We could certainly see some mistakes from the drivers. Of course, this track in general is not an easy track to get right, with the really low downforce that people tend to run. Of course, being pretty much just straights and a few chicanes. So this could spice things up quite nicely. And actually, Wide Load Billy's strategy of qualifying on the mediums isn't going to really help him anymore, because it's raining, so they're all going to start on inters. So it's really just kind of hindered him now. But coming away for the formation lap, Legende will lead the pack. Of course, we have seen in the preseason and also in the first two rounds that have not actually been counted anymore, that he is very quick and he can fight for a win. Luke 1 is new to this league. He seems to have quite a lot of pace, and he seems to be able to he seems to be someone who could challenge Legende today. Looks in third in the Mercedes. Of course, he only had one shot. It was basically like he was doing one shot qualifying, as lots of cars sliding around, and Enrico Flam, and I'd say both of them are gonna get disqualified. They do. Both of them disqualified from the formation lap because Enrico Flam just lost the rear, and he was in the middle of the track, so yeah, both of them out of the formation lap. But I'm not sure if that's going to be too bad, because you don't necessarily need to warm up your tyres when it's raining. Lots of people already sliding around, and it's only the formation lap, so it'll be very interesting to see what happens off this start. Legende will be backing up the grid now, as we see him doing just that, coming around the final corner. I think he should be taken by AI now. Yes, at the exit, so he should be AI now, and now they'll be forming up. James, I'll just go through them quickly. He hasn't actually got to race until now. He's put it in fourth, pretty good showing. Enrico Flam, new to this league. Of course, he didn't actually get his formation lap, but he could be someone to watch. Lotus down in sixth. He could certainly be one to watch. He can get his strategy quite well. He's been known to, at least, from what I've seen. But it's 5 red lights for the Italian Grand Prix. Now they're away, and it seems like Legende has got a good enough start, and he's going to be able to lead them into turn 1. But Lux and Luke side by side, and Luke actually goes deep there. Legende got a 5-second time penalty, but I'm sure that's going to get removed. That was definitely not something that would be deserved. And Luke now down in 5th. That little incident promoting Lux. And Lux actually going down the inside. He's all over the place at the moment. These tricky conditions not going well. And James has now been able to overtake Lux, and he's up into 2nd place. So very good start from James, already being 2nd, but he's got a bad exit though, and he's gonna give Lux a run on him into a score. He might look at a move, but it would be very audacious from that far back, especially in the rain. Yeah, James not faring well with the conditions at the moment. Lux is right on the back of him. It looks like there's kind of a pack beginning to form behind these two. In the background, Mago having a look on Enrico, but doesn't look like he's able to make a move. But we do have Lux on the inside of James Killer, side by side, approaching turn 1. They're still very much side by side. No, Lux actually gets the overspeed, and he is up into 2nd place. Lux has outbraked himself, and that will probably give him a time penalty, I'd assume, as he does get a 3-second time penalty for that, and he's down to 4th. So lots of mistakes from quite a few drivers, people braking too late and causing some issues. But Legende seems to have got away pretty well at the moment, though, from the rest of the pack. Luke now down in 7th. Not a great start from him. He'll be looking to come back after not a great start. Actually, we'll have a look at the position changes. Lotus actually not getting an amazing start either. He started up in 6th, now down to 8th. SBC also losing a position off the start. But in this early stages, it's Legende who's leading with a 2-second gap back to James Killer. And then it's Enrico Flam behind him, followed by Lux, who is closely chasing Enrico Flam, and closely followed behind by Mago and Widelo Billy. Doesn't look like there's going to be any moves into turn 1 on this occasion, though. But Mago is defending a little bit. He's moved over, maybe anticipating a move. He's gone a little bit deep. In the background, Luke, it looks like he's gone deep there. had to take the escape road, and he loses position to Nexus Lotus there. So these tricky conditions, the only driver really who seems to have got away and not really struggling is Legende and James. Enrico seems to be having a few corrections there, but he has actually got away well. He has gained 2 positions off the start, as has Mago, and Whitelow Billy gaining 3 from where he started. The gap at the front seems to be stabilizing a bit, but James rather has actually closed the gap a little bit by a tenth or 2 in the last lap, although it actually goes straight back to what it was before. So yeah, we'll have to see about that gap. Enrico Flam has actually closed 2 seconds, 2 tenths in the last sector. And here's actually Mago. He's maybe gonna go down the inside. No, he actually backs out of that one. Decides that it's not a smart move. As looks braking too late, he has to take the escape road, and he loses 2 positions. So looks like Lux and Luke not really doing too well with these conditions at the moment. Whitelow Billy there though, not able to make a move at the moment though. Close battles, but no one really able to make moves without someone actually making mistakes though. As Nexus Lotus in the background there, coming out of the second Nesmo, looks like he maybe got up on the curb and he's DNF'd and looks sliding around, and it's going to allow Luke to go side by side with him to Parabolica. And there is another side-by-side fight between Mago and Whitelow Billy, but we're gonna keep watching this one. Lux seems to have got the better of him, but he will have slipstream though. Will he go to the left? Will he go to the right? It looks like Lux is gonna stay to the left, so Luke could go for a move here. No, he actually backs out of it. But it seems like Lux didn't get a great entry to the corner though, so he's going to be on the back of him once again. He is closing. Lux goes to the left to defend. He's going to go around the outside, which will turn to the inside for his second part of the chicane, and it looks like he has made that move stick. So Luke up into 6th place. Quite a good move there. And up ahead, wide load, and now Enrico Flam's gone around, and now wide load Billy is seems like he's out of the session. Enrico Flam just lost the rear in a similar fashion to Lotus, and went around and collected wide load Billy. Does SBC have damage there? It doesn't look like it, so it seems that SBC got away unscathed from that. Just gonna... Actually, there is a fight here for 3rd place. Looks coming back from what was quite a poor start. He's gonna go down the inside for turn 1 as Whitelow Billy leaves the session. He's not able to make a move. His looks seems like he's got a better exit than him though. Coming into the second chicane, he might be able to go down the inside, but it's gonna be hard considering that it is raining. He does get a move down the inside, James has to kind of cut the track to be able to give Lux space, and James keeps the position. Up ahead, Luke has actually got back into second, but the task of closing on Legende is going to be quite a difficult one without a safety car. So he's going to have to put in some crazy laps to be able to close up, which considering how close those two were in qualifying, I don't really think that it's going to be something that he's going to be able to do. But back to this fight for third place. James versus Lux. It seems like James has got a much better exit than Lux. So, despite the slipstream, it seems like James has got away a little bit. And it seems like he's closing up on Lux as well. He's gone deep though. That should give him, yeah, it does give him a 3-second time penalty. Although he didn't really gain, so I'm not sure how justified that penalty is, to be honest. Looks just covering the track. I'd say he probably got a warning for that though. Very tricky conditions at the moment. Seems like Legende is the only one who is not having any difficulty, and he's just pulling away in first. The gap was 10 seconds between these two. The gap is now 12. So seems like Legende is doing a great job and just able to adapt to the conditions a bit better than everyone else at the moment. Fight for third place. Mago seems to be quite close to the two guys in front of him, closing up a little bit in the last few laps. So he's got some slipstream. He's actually setting up the move, maybe. No, he does think better of it. He's going to wait. James doesn't actually get that great of an exit, and it's going to allow Lux to go side by side with him on the exit. As I think I saw a Sauber there in the background spin. Yeah, it looks like he did, but yeah, Lux still not able to make a move on James. As James sliding around the place, and he's actually hit the wall, and he's collected Mago, another person who's collected someone, and both of them have wing damage. You want to be careful because SPC is right behind them as well. Absolute chaos, really. At the moment, Mago will most likely have to pit, like it is the rain. So, yeah, it looks like it's red on one side and yellow on the other, I would assume. Yeah, he's going very wide. He will have to pit, and SBC gets right past him. And there in the background, James nearly puts it in the wall. Lucky to not put it in the wall, to be honest. Yeah, so we'll see James and Mago both. We'll see James now also coming into the pits, so absolute chaos at the moment in this race. Luckily there is actually action, even though there's only 7 people on the track. The rain has thrown some, well, it's thrown a little bit of spice onto it, I think. That's probably a horrible analogy, but yeah, it seems that people have got quite separated, and Mago comes out just behind Enrico. He's on fresher tires, so he will have a little bit of an advantage. James down in 7th. He has fallen back a little bit. Of course, he did have damage, and he did actually hit the wall just before he came in. Mago didn't, so Mago was able to get quite a lot of time on him. Enrico just ahead of Mago. It seems like, well, I would assume that Mago is quicker at the moment. Yeah, it looks like he has got a better exit. Enrico had to correct his car there, so it might allow Mago to have a look into the first chicane. Enrico going quite wide there once again. And there's yellow flags in Sector 3, and that's for James Killer, I think. But we'll keep on board with this fight. Mago might go down the inside. No, once again he breaks early and 6 behind. Very mature racing from him. And actually he's lost out quite a bit on the exit there. And James leaves the session. Enrico, Mago just goes straight past him. Enrico just looks also retiring. But yeah, Mago just going straight past Enrico there. Very easy because Enrico just lost it. But Lux is now out as well. We might be able to see his car. I assume he's probably lost it at the exit of Ascari. He has lost it at the exit of Ascari. So, it was already hard to keep the car on the track in the dry, in the wet. It's just taken to a new level. But now there's not really any battles. Actually, the two Saubers going very well in the second and third at the moment. Still people sliding around in these intermediate conditions. The only battle that we really have is between these two, and even then Mago is on fresher tires, so we will be of course pulling away. And actually the gap between SBC and Mago isn't too big. Mago has pit, SBC has not, so it'll be interesting to see where SBC actually comes out compared to Mago. Mago should be, in theory, closing on him all the time. As Enrico gets another 3-second time penalty. I'd say the stewards will have quite a busy job, to be honest, after this race, because there was quite a lot of incidents. And SBC there gets a 3-second time penalty. It's just yellow flags, and that is for Enrico, who is down in 5th. I say they just got damage. Yeah, he did just get damage, so he'll have to pit once again. So now it's really waiting to see when the top 3 are going to pit. In theory, it would be around lap 13 or 14. I would assume, because it's half the race on a set of inches, and then pit for another set of inches to the end. And he doesn't pit, nor does Luke or Legende. So yeah, so these top three still we're just waiting for them to come into the pit lane. Enrico down in 5th is kind of on his own at the moment. It's been an unfortunate race for him, really. He's been caught up in a few incidents. I mean, just losing the back end, as it is so easy to do on this track, plus the rains. I mean, we've seen mistakes from everyone. James, Lotus, and both losing it and retiring. I think Lux most likely lost it as well at the exit of the Scary. Billy just went straight into the back of Enrico Fam, and that caused him to retire. So yeah, quite unfortunate for quite a few drivers at the moment, as we have 5 left. And it looks like Luke is coming to the pit lane now. Legende continues on. And really, with Luke pitting, without any issues for Legende, you would have to say that Legende would probably end up leading every single lap, which would be a perfect weekend for him. Comes out of the pits ahead of Mago on fresher tyres, so as expected, really. From where he was, you would expect him to come out ahead. I'd say next would be SBC on lap 14. I said 13 or 14. One Sauber chose 13 and the other one is going to choose 14. So I'd say we'll probably end up seeing Legende, and now he's coming over to the right. Yeah, he is going to pit now. So he is in for his stop. And SBC will probably be in as well. The gap behind him is 6 seconds, and to Mago it's about 16. So he'll want to get a move on in the last part of this race if he wants to get that 3rd place, because Mago will take it off him after he pits. So I think he must have made a mistake, to be honest, because he had a gap to pit and come out ahead before. So there goes Luke. We'll go on board with Mango. He's coming around the final corner. He will get him. It just depends on how much he'll get him by, and if Luke, or SBC rather, will be able to close that gap. He's coming out of his pit box now. The gap already about 6 seconds. I say that's gonna jump up to about 10, and yeah, the gap as he exits pit lane, 14 seconds. So he will want to try get a move on if he wants to take that 3rd place back. Checking the tyre life, Mago's been on his inters for 6 laps. SBC, of course, on fresh inters, so he will be closing, but he only has 13 laps, I think, 14 laps to close that gap to Mago. So we'll have to be closing by a little over a second, about a second to be honest, per lap.
So, no battles at the moment. Unsurprisingly, to be honest, because there are only 5 people on the track, but credit to Legende, he's led every single lap. Just been dominant, no mistakes from Legende. He's just started on pole, led from pole, and now he's 17 seconds in the lead. So credit to him. But nothing really to commentate over though. The prospect of SBC closing on Mago, if he can switch his car on in these tricky conditions. There's a little bit of lag there for Luke, but it seems like Mago still has the pace over SBC at the moment, despite being on more worn tires. So maybe he saved up a little more fuel, and maybe has a bit more. Actually, we can check that. Well, yeah, Mago actually does have about 20% more ERS compared to SBC. Actually, Legende is closing on Enrico, so you might end up lapping him soon. Yeah, it looks like SBC is falling back from Mago a little bit at the moment, so it seems Mago has got this podium in the bag, really. Interviews is actually, I don't think Mago has a headset, so, or a mic, so the only one who's gonna finish in the top 3 who has a mic is Luke, so the only person who will be able to talk to is Luke. So I think I'll get Enrico in as well, just so we actually get people to interview, because Legende certainly doesn't have a mic. I'm pretty sure Mago doesn't, but I will invite him anyway, just in case he does. And then SBC, from what I remember, doesn't. And then Enrico, I'm not sure, but I think he does, so yeah. Nothing really at all happening at the moment. Excuse me. Yeah. I don't really have anything to say anymore, unless someone makes a mistake. Well, I mean, Enrico might be closing on SBC. The gap is only about 7 seconds, so we may see a battle for 4th soon. It doesn't look like SBC is able to close the gap to Mago, so yeah, the only hope we have for a battle is between SBC and Enrico. Oh no, wait, that's not interval. So no, there isn't really any hope in that battle. Never mind. Yeah, gap to leader. There is no chance really. So for the last now 8 laps, nothing really to do. Like I can't commentate over anything. Yeah, the Chendig has about 7.5 laps left until he, with no issues, takes the win. So yeah, I guess we'll just kind of spectate Legende, who really deserves like every bit of recognition, because really he's just dominated this race. No one has been able to come close to him. So I mean, Luke maybe could have been there to try and challenge him, but of course his start wasn't too great, so that couldn't really happen. So it's just a quiet race really for Legende out in the lead, and he is on his way to take victory. As Enrico leaves this session. I'm not sure. You have to complete at least, well, for this league we do an 80% rule rather than a 90. So I think he's completed enough, just about, on like without being AI. So I think he'll still get points. So yeah, he did complete just about enough.
Yeah, no battles at all going on. There is 5 laps remaining. Legende is on his way to a win. And there's a comment on the stream, so I might be able to talk like something, because this is kind of boring. Yeah, fastest lap does it is a thing. There is a point for fastest lap. I think that point belongs to Legende at the moment. I think he's the one with the fastest lap, so. I mean, we may as well watch Legende pass Enrico. Well, Enrico's AI. It'll still be action though. A little bit of lag for Legende. I hope it's not me, because I am the one hosting the lobby, so. And Legende leaves session. I'm gonna assume that he lagged out. I don't think that he would have just left. And yeah, he did lag out. He's back, hopefully now. Ah, okay, so you disconnected. Are you able to use a backup invite? Because you should have got 2 backups, unless you used them already, Enrico. Oh, I think that makes sense, because Legende just lagged out and Casper just said lagged out, so I'm gonna assume that Casper is Legende. Yeah, there is a point for fastest lap anyway, and I'm pretty sure it belongs to you.
30.0. Yeah, you have it. You have it. You've got the fastest lap at the moment. And to be honest, it doesn't look like it's gonna change, because if someone pits now, they'll emerge on lap 27, so they won't be able to actually go faster. And I doubt that someone's gonna magically get loads of pace, so. And Enrico pulls to the side, and Legende laps him. Very straightforward. So yeah, since Enrico did disconnect though, he will get points for 5th. I think he would have got it anyway, because I think he did do still enough. I think he had to do 22 laps, and I think he did do that just about, so yeah, even then he did disconnect, so it wasn't his fault. So he will be getting still points for 5th, because he would have obviously finished 5th still, so. So yeah, on the last lap, coming up to the final corner, it's Legende who's going to take the win in a dominant form, getting pole position, and he's at every single lap. He should be very happy with that. No weaving, actually, but on the last lap, even then, he goes even quicker and sets an even quicker fastest lap. So he takes away maximum points for today's race in 2nd, quite far back from him, involved in quite a few incidents at the start, which did not help him. Recovers back up to 2nd. In the circumstances, I think he should be happy with that, and he seems happy with that. 3rd is Mago. Actually, I think he's had quite a good race, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's actually gained 4 positions this race, so he has had quite a good race, as has SBC, who is quite far back actually, only coming into Ascari at the moment. Of course, very slidey, very tricky conditions, and he does keep it clean. So as long as nothing happens and he's yeah, doing a little bit of weaving, you'd want to be careful not to crash out around the final corner. And he is going to be the last one to finish on the lead lap in 4th. He seems happy with it. I mean, he's gained 4 positions, started 8th, finished 4th, so it was solid, I guess. So yeah, I'll invite people after the thing. So for the first race, it's the Dane of Legende taking the win, dominant fashion, very well driven and well deserved. Up on the top step, it's Luke in 2nd, a little bit of a recovery drive, considering the circumstances he did pretty well. And then it's Mago in 3rd, who came from I think he came from 7th and ended up in 3rd, so pretty good race for him too. So the final classification is as follows: Legende in 1st, followed by Luke, and then Mago. Actually, the top 3 all not getting a single penalty, so it's very good from them to not get any. In fourth, it's SBC. Fifth is Enrico Flam, and then Lux, James, White Love Billy, and Lotus all crashed out near the start. So we are going to get some people in for some interviews. Just 2 seconds. Let me just try and remember who finished. Okay, that should be everyone, I think. Let's check the comments as people join up. Just checking, you do have a mic, right, Michael? Because this is for okay, cool. Just wait for everyone else to join up. Okay, it seems to be taking a while for people actually to join. Yeah, we may as well start with you, Michael, while we wait for other people to join. You started in sevens, I think it was, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, and then of course the first half of the race was quite chaotic with people like losing the back end everywhere, quite a lot of crashes and contact. How did you go with all that? I think you were involved in one of them at the start and had to pit. Yeah, it was a good lap considering what happened to, well, a good race considering everything that happened with all the incidents, to not get involved too much and come away with the podium. The next race is Canada, so do you think you can do well around there and maybe go for another good points finish, or do you think you might be a little bit more off the pace there? Okay, congratulations on your podium and good luck for next week. Okay, SBC just left there. Yeah, you can leave now if you want. Okay, so we'll see if we can get SBC back, and if he doesn't join back, then we will end the stream there. I'm not sure if we're gonna get SBC to join back. We'll wait another minute. Actually, before all that, let me clip the race. Okay, it doesn't look like, well, I hope you enjoyed the commentary at least. Yeah, you can leave a like maybe, I don't know, if you want to or not. But, yeah, that has been the Italian Grand Prix. I've been your commentator, Nexus Aspect, and hopefully we'll see you around for the next race at Canada. Goodbye.